Yeah, because I would like to discuss these questions today. Yeah, there are several. I've uh, I've retrieved them from the past papers altogether. So they're entailing several topics altogether. They have covered almost all the topics in your course of training together. And maybe we can start the first one here.
Yeah.
I would like this discussion to be interactive because I'll be asking some questions altogether as we proceed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For example, we can have a question one here. We're supposed to differentiate. These are some of the terminologies in what in computer networks. You're supposed to differentiate between a server and a what in a client
Yeah.
computer.
Computer.
So whenever we talk about a server now, we say that a server is a what a much more powerful computer that incorporates what a large memory. They must be having what faster what processors and what very many what disk drives together. Every computer can be a what can be a server. But now the specifications of a server they are different with the normal computer because you have said for the server it must be having what a large memory. For example, a normal computer can be having 1 terabyte, but for the server, but for the server, you can have what even that what terabyte. Then the normal computer has what just one disk drive,
The server.
but for the server it has what several disk drives. Now, what about a client computer? We said for this one, the client computer, this is a machine that allows the user together to log onto the network and to take advantage of the resources in what in that network. Understood? I think we said that. Michelle, we said that it allows the user, it is a machine or a computer that allows the user to log onto the network and take advantage of the resources on that network. Now, which are the resources that this computer or this kind of machine can access on the network? We can have what the email. Is it true? We can have what some files, some
Yes.
software. Yeah. What about now, Roman 2? I would like to differentiate between a terminal and a NOS. What is a terminal?
Huh?
Yes, what is a terminal?
A terminal.
Yeah.
Uh, okay. I've forgotten.
Yeah, we said for the terminal now, this is a device that has two features. It must be having what a display screen, what and a key and a keyboard. Can you call now? We say it is a device that has two things. It must be having a display screen, what and a key and a keyboard. For example, a computer is a terminal. A smartphone is a what is a terminal. In case you compare them, they have what both a keyboard and a what and a monitor, or what we call the visual display unit. Then what is an NOS? The network operating what system. Now for this one, this is a software that allows the user together that enables the computer to access what the network. There is no way a computer can access the internet, but there is no way a computer can access the network unless you have what the NOS together. Now in the computer, there is what you call the NIC, the network interface card. For example, in a computer, so you have that port for the Ethernet cable. Is it true? We have that port for the Ethernet cable. That is where we have what the NIC. So the NOS is inside what that network what interface card. We have said there is no way a computer can access the network unless you have what the NOS. Yeah. What if now still in networks? What if now you are requested to explain the difference between a hub and a switch? Still in networks. What if now you're requested to explain the difference between what hub and a switch? What is the difference? Michelle, what is the difference between now a hub and a switch? Michelle, what is the difference between hub and a switch? What if you request to explain that difference?
Oh, sorry, I can't hear you very clearly. It
Oh,
has started again.
so just give me the difference between a hub and a switch. The difference? So I think we said both the hub and the switch, they're supposed to perform what the same functions. Both they extend they extend what the network. But now the major difference between a hub and a switch is that a switch has what more number of ports than a hub. Like a standard switch has what 24 ports, but a hub has what 5 ports. Still, a switch is more intelligent than a what? Than a hub. That is the major difference between what a hub and a switch. I hope we are together, Michelle. Have you gotten the difference between the
Yes.
two? Yeah, we have said that a switch has what? More
Yes.
number of ports than a what? Than a hub. Still, a switch is more intelligent than a what? Than a hub. For example, in case you have 3 computers, you don't have to procure the switch. You can just procure what? A hub. But in case now maybe your organization is growing together and it is expanding, you have to look for a what? For a switch. Yeah, that is okay. Then you can proceed. We have this question here that you state the 3 reasons why an organization may adopt a network. What are the benefits of having a network in an organization? For example, like ZTEC, you're having what? A network. What are the benefits now of having this network, Michelle?
The benefits of having the network.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, everybody in the institute can access it.
No. Is that a benefit? I want to hear the benefits. Which just state one. Yeah, because for example, there is what you
One
call,
benefit.
for example, you can have hardware sharing. Is that true? Hardware sharing, whereby you may realize in an organization, we are just having one printer that is being shared over the network. For example, you have 10 computers, but the 10 computers, they can print using what? A printer. That printer is being shared over what? Over that network. Still, you may realize that, that organizations might share what? Even the servers. Is that true? So the first one is what we call
Yeah.
hardware sharing. What else?
Um.
There is what we call software sharing. Is it true? Software sharing. What happens now, instead of installing the application programs in the current computers, you just install the application program. So you just install the software what in the server. In case now any current computer would like to use a certain software, it is given permission altogether by the what by the server. That is what we call software sharing. Right? Understood? Understood? Then there is what you call communication.
Yes.
There is what you call communication. For example, you can use what we can have maybe like in terms of the email right, together. Still, there is what you call file sharing. We have what file sharing. For example, in case we're having 10 computers in a network, and one of the computer or when one of the computers would like to share certain documents to the computers, you can just share over that what over that network. So all the computers in that network will receive what that document. That is what we call what file sharing. So the four major reasons why an organization may adopt a network: we have hardware sharing, we have software sharing, we have file sharing, and you have what communication. Understood? I hope it is okay.
Yes.
Then you can proceed.
Yes.
Yeah, we have this question here. I want to answer this question. Outline one advantage and one disadvantage of having a laptop over a desktop computer. Just give me one merit over laptop over desktop computer. Why should someone have a laptop over the desktop? What are the benefits?
Well, you have the laptop, so you can go everywhere with it.
Yes. So we can say
It's
that is that
more.
is what we call portability. Is it true portability?
Uh-huh.
What about the disadvantage?
It's cheaper.
Yes, it is cheap, correct?
Oh, sorry. The disadvantage of a laptop.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, we can say it is prone to theft. Is it true?
uh,
Because we say that it is portable, you can carry it from one place to another place. Still, it is prone to theft. Is it true? Because now, just remember, when you're carrying a laptop, it is easier someone to snatch it as compared to that desktop that is enclosed somewhere. Is it true? Is it true?
yes.
Yeah, that is okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Then you can have this question now that you explain the server-based network using a diagram stating two stabilities together, or you state two applications of this network. Now we say this is what we call the classification of networks based on what? Based on network type. Because we say that the networks are classified based on two mechanisms. There is what we call classification based on size, and we have classification based on what? Network type. Together. Now, what are the server-based network now? What happens in this one now? We must be having a central server together. We must be having what? A central server whereby all other current machines or all other current computers can only access the information once authorized by the what? By the server. So there is what we call centralized administration of the resources. We must be having an administrator who is responsible for managing what? The network. Together. Still, one of the benefits is that the security of the information of the resources is what? Is guaranteed. Together. So what are the two applications of having this network? Or what do we apply it? For example, in case the organization has more than 10 users, in case what? The organization has what? More than 10 users. So together, they can adopt what? The server-based network. Understood? Still, in case the organization is having adequate capital to procure what? The servers and other softwares now, they can use what? The server-based network. These are the two suitabilities of having what? This network. Understood?
Yes.
What if now you're requested, still the same question, what if in exam scenario you're requested to explain the peer-to-peer network, the P2P network? What question is it? In case you're requested to explain the peer-to-peer network, still a classification based on what? Network type. Which one is this one? The peer-to-peer network. Which one is it? Michelle, which one is it? Now, we said for the peer-to-peer network now, we do not require what? The centralized what? Control together. For example, for this one, you can just connect two computers. For example, in case you're having three laptops or three computers now, you just look for a hub and you connect them together. What happens in this network now, individual machines, they have control of their own what? Shared resources. For example, in case you're sharing 10 documents, you must be having what? 10 passwords together. It is in an organization whereby we have what? Less than 10 people. And still, that network is what? Easy to implement for the peer-to-peer network. Understood?
Yes.
Yeah, that is okay. Then you can proceed. That we have this question here that Jane has procured a laptop for her study. Outline three measures that she should put in place to safeguard the laptop from virus infection. Now, you know what is a virus? A virus, this is a malware. Together, there's a malware that is able to alter the normal function of the computer. And you have types of viruses. For example, you can have what you call the boot viruses. We have what the boot viruses. And we said these are the viruses that affect what? The boot sectors of the hard disk. Still, we can have the Trojan horse. Together, we can have what? The Trojan horse. And we said for the Trojan horse, this is a malware or this is a virus that is able to personify itself as a what? Is a legitimate program, but its main objective it is to alter the normal function of the computer. Still, there is what we call the macro viruses or the viruses that are able to affect what? The application programs. So from that now, having known the rate of viruses, which measures can Jane put now to safeguard her laptop from viruses? Just give me three measures now. I've explained the types of viruses on what is a virus. Which measures can she put in place?
Um. Where she can install the firewall.
Well, that is one. Which the next one?
Um.
So apart from the firewall, she can install what? An antivirus program. Is it true? She can install what? Antivirus software. What else?
Antivirus. Yes. Um.
She can even install anti-spyware programs together and spyware together. So, for example, what she have to do, she have to ensure that her laptop has what? An antivirus software. Still, she can use a firewall. Still, she can install what you call and spyware what programs together. And still, she should ensure she should not access the internet and without what? Without an antivirus in what? In her laptop. Understood?
Yes.
Yeah, that is okay. Then you have this question now. What is the difference between an extranet and a what intranet? Intranet now, this is a private network. within what an organization. There's a what a private network within what an organization, and only the people only the members of that organization are able to access what the resources in that network. Together, both are networks, but this one is private. This is what it is private. Only the authorized members are able to do what to access the information on what on that network. Then for the extranet now, it is more public and more private. Because what happens now, both members within the organization network and still people outside the network are able to do what to access the resources. For example, in case you're having a company like let me just use a company like Bidico. Like Bidico is able to use what extranet. Why? The the management of that organization are able to access the resources not in that network, but still the customers and the suppliers of product in that company can access what still the same information. So extranet is more public. It's more what? It is more public. Understood? Understood? Michelle, are you together?
Yes.
Yeah, you are disappearing a lot. See, I have to monitor you.
Oh, it's my
Oh,
internet
network.
has problem. Yes.
Yeah, it is okay. Then you can have this question now. We have this question. I want to explain this question. I think I want you answer this question. The management of Total Petroleum Company Limited has decided to procure computers. The management of Total Petroleum Company Limited has decided to procure computers for Human Resource Department. Explain two uses of computers in the department. So in this question, you're supposed to explain now the benefit or the use of that computer in that department, not general in that what in the Human Resource Department. So what are the uses of the computers in that department? Michelle, just give me, just explain to.
The uses of to store data.
Oh, be louder, be louder. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Be louder.
Okay, to show the records of how the petrol is being used.
So maybe we can say in terms of data storage, that is the first one, data storage.
eh, Data
Yeah,
storage.
yeah. What else?
Uh-huh. Mm,
So we can have communication. We can have what communication together. For example, maybe the human resource manager would like to communicate together with other members of staff together. So you can use what the email together. So there's what you call communication together. So the two major uses we have data storage and we have what communication. Understood? As explain this point now, you have to link
communication.
with the what the department. Understood? For example, in case you explain data storage, it can be used to
Okay.
do what? To store information pertaining what? That department, pertaining the employees together, both the staff and what? Maybe the staff and other what
Okay.
other members. Yeah, that is okay. Then you can have this question
Mhm.
here that you're supposed to explain the difference between impact and you have what? Non-impact printers. What is the difference? Before I explain.
Well, an impact printer
Yes.
it involves mechanical components for conducting printing.
Pardon, that is the info?
Mechanical
Mechanical what?
component
Are you,
components
are you sure
for
mechanical?
conducting
What about an impact?
an impact, no
Yeah.
mechanical moving.
Are you sure, Michelle? Did we say that? Because we covered this one last time, Mr. Somewhere. Did we say that?
Yes.
Oh, no, we never said that. Let me just help you. No, we said for the impact now, they produce a lot of noise while printing. Is that true? The first difference.
Uh-huh.
But now for the non-impact, they do not produce any noise. Altogether, or they produce less noise.
Okay.
Then for the impact, the printout quality it is low. For example, we can have a good example of the impact is what we call the dot matrix printer. if you compare the printout or what has been printed using that printer, and you compare with the, for example, the recipe printer is a what non-impact, you may realize that for the non-impact, it produces what a better quality printout altogether.
Yes.
Yeah. So the first difference we have said, for the impact, they produce what a lot of noise. Non-impact, less noise. Impact, they produce less quality printout. But for the non-impact, they produce what a better quality printout altogether. Still, for the impact, they are less expensive. They are what less expensive. But for the non-impact, they are what very expensive, because you cannot compare the cost of a laser printer or inkjet printer with the what the dot matrix and the what the DC wheel. In an exam scenario, in case you're requested to give two examples of the impact, we have what DC wheel, we have what the dot matrix right together. Understood?
Okay.
Yeah. Then for the non-impact, we can have the inkjet and you can have the laser printers right together. The laser printers. I hope you have understood.
Yes.
Then you have this question. I'm able to see you are not revising. Most of you are not revising. I'm able to see that from these questions. Is that true? Can I justify that statement?
Yes.
Yes.
This
Yeah.
unit mostly. I don't.
Yeah. It's no, because you assume it is very, very simple. You have to revise that together. It is not simple. You have to revise that together. You have to do what? You have to revise that together.
Okay.
You have to revise. You have to use all the past papers. I remember, like when the semester was starting, we revised all the past papers. Have you seen them? Have you seen them in the portal? Have you seen them? All the past papers you have revised. Yes, have you seen them?
Yes.
Yeah. So you have to revise that together. Don't assume it is simple
Yeah.
together. You have to do what? You have to revise. Now we have this question here that you state for examples of what? Utility softwares. You state for examples of what? Utility softwares. Now, the utility softwares now, or these programs now, they help the operating system in performing its functions what better. Which are these examples? Which are these softwares? Michelle, which are these? Yeah, just give me one. Just
How
give
do
me
I?
one. Now I'm asking, you state for examples of
Don't have
the utility softwares. Because you have said these are the
the
programs.
utility
Yeah, which
softwares.
are these? Remember these programs, they help the operating system in performing its functions better. Which are these? Just give me one. I require just one. There is what we call antivirus software. We have what? Antivirus software. Together. Then there is what we call disk cleanup. I hope you're writing them somewhere. We have disk cleanup, we have disk fragmenters, we have
Yes.
backups, and we have what?
And
Antivirus also software. Together.
even disk cloning is a utility. Right?
Yeah, correct. Disk cleanup. Because you may realize that most of these utility softwares, they are inbuilt apart from the antivirus. For example, the disk cleanup is within the computer. Is that true? Disk fragmenter, the backups, they are within what the computer. And you have to be very, very careful. For example, in case you're requested to explain the application software now, the application software you said is a software that helps the end user in performing his day-to-day activities. Is that together? So in case you're requested to give the examples of the application softwares, you can have what? Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, you can have accounting software, you can have what? Database also software. So you have to be very, very careful. Understood?
No.
Yeah. Then you have this question here that you explain two benefits of having an email. What are the benefits of an email? Just give me two advantages. I believe you have an email. Is it true? What are the benefits of that email?
Yes. For communication purposes.
Yeah, so we can say it's convenient in terms of communication. What else?
Mm, for sharing documents.
As if you're not devising. Yeah, no. So the first one you have to say it is what? It is convenient in terms of what communication together. Still, it is less expensive.
Communication.
It is what? Less expensive. In case you compare sending some documents,
Expensive.
using an email and using the print media, the email is a bit less expensive. Is that true? Still, the email is a bit
Yes.
faster. For example, in case you compare the email and the post office, usually it's a bit faster is the email. Is that true? Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah, that is okay. What if now you're requested to give what if now in the next
Yeah.
exam now they will request you to explain one disadvantage of the email? What is the disadvantage? Just give me one disadvantage of having an email. Yeah,
One disadvantage.
yeah, one disadvantage.
It's expensive.
No. We have just said it's less expensive because we are comparing.
Oh,
Yeah, it is less expensive. But one of the
oh,
disadvantages is that it requires, for example, you must be computer literate in order to use the email. Is it true? You must be what? Computer literate. Then still another limitation,
okay.
in case you make a mistake in the email address, that message would be delivered to the recipient. Altogether. So we have said it requires someone who is what? Computer literate. Together to send an email.
Mhm.
Then still you have said, in case you make a mistake in the email address, there is no way that message will be delivered. And these are the two what? Limitations. It is good I challenge you so that you start revising for the exam. Together. It is good. You should have a timetable. You should be
Okay.
revising. You should be revising
Yes.
every day together. Then you have this question here. Explain two ways of ensuring safety when you're working with the computers. I know you have a laptop, or in case you have used a laptop or a computer. Which ways can we ensure they are safe when you're using the computers? Yeah,
Oh, wait, I'm still thinking. I'm still
yeah,
composing the sentence.
yeah. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for that response.
Well, when okay,
Yeah, you must.
when
Yeah, you must
when
give me the 2 points. Otherwise, I will say you're absent. I'm assuming you're absent. You must give me the 2 points.
you measures.
Yeah, the two measures. Now, let me just tell you what happens now when you're working the computer. What you have to do now, you have to ensure that all the cables are what? They are insulated. They are what? Insulated. Because, for example, in case you're having a cord or you're having a cable from the computer to the power supply, which is not well encapsulated, you can have what? An electric shock right together. That is one way together. Michelle, understood? Michelle, have you understood proper insulation of the cables?
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes,
then
I've understood.
yes, yeah,
I
then
said I've understood.
yeah, that is okay. Then yeah, you have to add just your voice is yeah. So iko chini kabisa. Ongeza volume because I can't hear you. Yeah, then still what you have to do, you have to ensure you have
Nimeweza.
yeah, it is okay now. You have to ensure you do not have any liquid when you're using the computer. Because now, in case the liquids they spill in the computer, they can destroy what the keyboard or what the motherboard. Still, you have to ensure you are using the right posture, sitting posture, because you might have what some backache. You can have a problem with your neck together, with your spinal cord together.
Yeah.
Still, as with the computer, you have to
Yeah.
ensure the brightness and the contrast they are very low. Because you know very well, in case you're having high brightness, they can affect your eyes. You can have what? Some eye problem. So you have to ensure that. Then you have this one. You have this one. You explain the term computer installation. What is computer installation? Now, installation now it may be based on several mechanisms. For example, in case you are installing a motherboard, I think that, for example, in case you are installing the components of the what of the motherboard. For example, you can install the motherboard itself. You can install the components. You can install the display chip. You can install the BIOS chip. You can install the RAM. That is what component storage installation together. The process of making all the computer components ready to work together. Understood?
Yes.
Yeah, then you have this question now. I want to explain this question. Explain 4 components of the computer system, clearly giving an examples. I want to explain 2. I just require 2. Now, which are these components of a computer system? Now, one of the components is what we call the hardware. So together we have what the hardware. And we said for the hardware, these are the physical and the tangible components of a computer. For example, we can have the keyboard, we can have the monitor. These are what? These are the physical because we can even touch them. But together, that is one. We have what? The hardware. Then we have the softwares. And we said for the softwares now, these are the set of rules that together, or the set of instructions that govern the computer. For example, you can have some application programs, you can have an operating system, the software. So you can have what? Database what? So software. What else? Apart from the hardware and softwares?
The inputs.
No, 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 no. It's not the input now, they can lie under the hardware. So together, the next component is what you call the data. You must have what? The data. Remember the data now. This is the raw fact that has what? Rest meaning, but of interest to the user. Because now we use the input capture. So together, for example, you can use the keyboard to key in the data to the computer. That is the data. Then the last component of the computer system is what we call the users. The users. These are the people who use the computer system. We can have programmers, we can have the system analysts, we can have the sophisticated users together. So these are the 4 components of a computer system. Yeah, so the first one, we have the hardwares, we have the softwares, we have data, and we have what? The people, or the users. Then we have this question here. Differentiate between application software and a system software, giving an example in each. I think I had explained an application software somewhere. What is an application software?
An application software.
Yes. Now I'm waiting.
An application software.
Yes.
I'm answering. Is a program.
Yes.
Is a group of programs designed for end users.
Are you sure? Are you sure? They say that. Did they say that? Now I said concerning the application software. Now I said the application software or the program. These are the programs that help the end user in performing his day-to-day activities. Together, for example, we can have a Microsoft Word. In case you want to format a document, you can use what MS Word. So you can have what maybe you can have an accounting software. You can have what a database also software. These are what the application softwares. Then there is what we call the system software now. Now, what are the system softwares?
The system softwares
Yeah.
is a okay. The system softwares are the programs.
Yes.
Well, I really need to revise.
Yeah. You not even to revise. You have to be serious. You have to be what? Is it true? Yeah.
Yes.
You have to be. You have to be serious, Michelle. Altogether. Because I have realized most of you in that class are joking. Now we said for the system softwares now, this is the softwares that together that coordinate together or that manage both the computer hardwares and what other computer softwares together. For example, you can have an operating system is a what a system software together. The OS now is going to manage both hardware and what and other software. Understood? I hope you have understood the difference before I proceed.
Yes.
Yeah, that is okay. Then we have this question. Outline 4 types of security threats in computer systems. Which are these threats you're trying? Which are the threats? Just give me one. The threats?
The threats of
Yeah.
a security system.
Of a computer system.
Oh. Um. Oh.
We can have the viruses. We can have whatever the viruses together or the malware together. And you see, these are the malicious programs together that they alter the normal function of the computer. Apart from the viruses, we can have hacking together. You can have what? Hacking together. And you know what, nowadays people are being
Yes.
hacked. Is it true? Machines are being what? Are being hacked. Apart
Yes.
from hacking, what else? There is what we call theft. Together, you can have what theft of the hardware. For example, maybe the components were kept somewhere and it was not locked together. Some people might do what? Might steal the component together, or steal the computer itself. Is not storage. You can have hacking, you can have malware or the viruses, you can have theft. What else? What else?
So I think you have stated all.
No. You see, I have stated it there like you said the last one. We can
Okay.
even
Oh.
have what there is what we call cross-site
Yeah.
scripting. We can have SQL injections together.
Uh-huh.
The malicious, we can have malicious code which are injected in the servers together in the servers. Now we have this one. This is a question you have covered. Are you covering in this question now? I believe you can answer this one because I have taught you in ICT, and still you have covered this question in operating systems. Not some operating OS. Yeah, you're having this unit OS.
Yes.
Now you have to answer this one, Michelle. Now you have to answer this one. Yeah, because now I have explained what is an OS. Is it true? I have explained the system software. Now explain 2 functions of the OS in a computer. What are the 2 functions? The functions of operating system.
Okay. It manages the computer resources.
Yeah, that is one. What else?
Establish a user interface.
How?
And also
Yes.
it uh,
Yes, pardon. It establishes
it
what? A user executes.
interface.
Then it executes what?
Interface.
It is okay. Then proceed.
It it ex- it execute and provide services for application software.
Yeah, that is okay. Still, you can have what you call that is correct. Then you can have security. You can have what security together. There is no way you can access the computer in case now the administrator has
Yes.
set a certain password. You got to access the resources. Is it true? Still, there is what you call device management. Together, it is used to do what? To both deallocate and allocate a device. For example, in case you just input a USB flash memory, in case you input a flash memory in the computer, there's allocated a certain letter. Is it true? That is what we call device management. There is what we call the processor management together. So it is work of the West now to allocate a process together to a new what? To a new program together. So you can have file management, you can have device management, you can have what memory management. Still, the West is able to do what? To allocate a memory to what? A program. And still, once that program has completed using the memory, can do what? It can deallocate together the memory. Then you have this one. State 2 emerging trends in ICT. Which are these emerging trends? There was a question in your assignment. Emerging trends in ICT. Yeah, for the emerging trends, we can have there is what we call cloud computing. We can have even mobile computing. even the neural networks. So together, these are the things that are emerging in ICT. Then we have this question here. File organization greatly contributes. So together, we have this question here. Are you with us?
Sorry, I'm having internet problem.
Yeah. I was saying for the emerging trends, you can have cloud computing, we can have mobile computing, you can have what neural networks together.
Yes.
And then we have this question here. We have this question. File organization greatly contributes to the efficiency of a computer. Describe two file organization methods that justify this statement. Remember, we have four file organization methods. The first one is what we call the CDU, file organization method. And we said for the CDU, the records in that file are not organized in any particular order. Together, the user has to scroll both forward and backward in order he or she can obtain what? A certain record. Together. And we said it is used in what? For example, it can be used by applications which have what we call the low hit rate. Together, the low hit rate. Still, it uses the low so the storage that is that for the CD it uses the storage that is what less expensive, like what like the magnetic tape. Together, that is what we call the CDU. Then there is what we call the sequential file organization method. Sequential. From the word sequential, we can obtain what? The word sequence. So what happens now? The records in that file are organized in a particular order, either by ascending or what? Or descending. Understood?
Yes.
Yeah, that is okay. Then there is what we call index sequential. Index sequential from the word sequential now. Still, what happens this one now? Still, the records are organized in a particular order. But now there's the term index. And index is provided now to speed up the access of the whole of the resources, or to speed up what? The access of the records that what in that file. Then the last method is what we call the ladder method or the direct method. For this one still, the records in that file are not organized in any particular order. But what happens? A key field is provided. Developing the what in the search. For example, in Google, we use what? The random together. What happens now? You just type a certain keyword, you present that information is retrieved from the what? From the database. Or that information is retrieved from the what? From the server. Pamoja. So I have explained four. In case I have explained four. In case I request to explain now the four of them, you can do that. Then we have this question here. Differentiate between data and information. We said for the data, these are the raw facts which has less meaning or they have no meaning, but we said they must be of interest to the user. Then we have information. We have what? Information. Information now, this is the process data which has a meaning and can be used by the members of the public in decision making. That is what we call information. Then you have this question. I want to answer this question now, Michelle. Students from XYZ college were asked to explain two benefits the internet it has brought to the institution. Explain the two benefits. What are the benefits of internet in an institution like ZTech? What are the benefits? Just give me two. Just give me two.
Two benefits of?
Two benefits. You have this question here. Two benefits of internet in an institution like ZTech. What are the benefits?
Two benefits
Of internet in an institution like ZTech. One of the benefits is what we call communication. Is it true? Communication via the use of email. Is it true? That is one.
Every student. Yes.
Yeah, that is my point. Now I look at your point. There is what we call research. There is what we call research. Together, for example, in case the lecturers, in case the lecturers or the students would like to obtain some information from the internet, they can perform some research. Is it true? Research, communication, what else? there is what we call e-learning, electronic learning. Like what we're having now, we're having what e-learning. We do not have to have the physical link between the lecturer and the student. Together, so you can have what video conferencing whereby people can conduct meeting together virtually in the internet. Together, you do not have to have the physical contact together between the people in a meeting. So you can have the conferencing, can have research, can have communication. Yeah. Then you have this question. Can you see this question? Can you see 4C? That the pointing devices on Emily's laptop have malfunctioned in the middle of an urgent word processing task together. So Mary was using a word processor program. Describe 3 shortcut keyboards that she could use to accomplish the task. Shortcuts. Which are these? And you know now they are used as a combination. Which are these? We can have Control and S. Is it true? We can have what? Control and S to save. We can have Control and P2 to print. We can have Control and C to copy. Is it true? We can have Control and X to do what? To cut. To cut. Together. These are what? The shortcut what? Keyboard. Yes, the first one can have Control and C to copy, Control and X to cut. We can have Control and P to print. Then you can have what? Control and S to do what? To save. Then you can have Control and A to select what? All the information in what? In that word processor program. And then you have this question here. Highlight 3 ways to protect the computer hardware from theft. How can we protect the computers from theft? Just give me 3 ways. Remember, we are discussing computer hardware. How can we ensure the security of hardware? The first mechanism, we can use the physical lock. So we can use the physical lock. In case now we have locked the computer lab, there is no way someone can able to do what can access the resources together. Still, we can use what we call maybe metallic structures. We can have what metallic structures. Still, we can have what the surveillance what cameras whereby we can have a team who are monitoring together everything that is happening now what in ICT lab or everything that is happening now what in an institution or a company. Still, we can use biometrics. Can use what? Biometrics. For example, in case you want to access the server room, there is no you can access the servers unless you have what? You have been authenticated using what? Biometrics. Understood? Then you have this question, explain the term email. You have what? The term email. We say for the email now, this is a mechanism that allows the users to do what? To send electronic messages that together online, that together. Yeah, that explain concerning the email. And we say this is what? It's convenient, less expensive, and is what? Very, very fast. And then you have this question here. Eunice would like to design a database system for her petroleum company. Explain 2 reasons that she could have influenced her decision. Yeah. Which are these? Now, one of the reasons is that one of the reasons now that a unit decided to have a database system now is to enhance integrity. To enhance what integrity. Once you have a database now, there is no way illegitimate people or there is no way an other personnel can manipulate the information because now the information will be secured using what a password. Still, you can have a database for what for data storage together. Or in case you want now to computerize everything, maybe initially they were having the books of records together which were approved here now, but now they like to do what to automate everything. Still, to reduce duplication, to do what? Reduce duplication. Yeah, Michelle, in this question, we're in question 5, and you can see you're back now. Yeah, we're in question 5, we are here. that explain the reasons of having a database together. We have seen the first one to enhance what integrity together. Once now there's a database system, there is no way illegitimate people or there is no way that that party people can access the information and manipulate it. There is no way they can do what they can modify the information because now that information will be secured using what a password. Still, we have said another benefit is to reduce what duplication because now once you have a database, you'll be having a primary key and the purpose of that key now, it is uniquely distinguish each and every record in what in that database together. Yeah, that is these are the benefits of having what a database what safe system. Then we have this question here. Since the introduction of M-banking or what we call mobile banking in Kenya, it has helped a lot of customers. What are the three benefits and the two challenges facing M-banking? The benefits you have, it is convenient. It is what convenient, it is less expensive. Then still, it is able to cover what a geographical region because now you do not have to go to the bank. Remember, once you go to the bank now, you always have a queue. But now you can access the information, or you can access now, or you can conduct transactions at the comfort of your home. Together using what that mobile device. So you have said is what less expensive, less than consuming. It is what fast. But now the challenges facing in banking, the first one is what we call the network. In case now you're in a location whereby you do not have good network, there is no way you can access what the resources in that what in your bank together. Then nowadays there's what we call a lot of what there's a lot of security issues. A lot of hacking is being conducted right together in mobile devices. So in case now you have connected using your smartphone to a public Wi-Fi which is not secured, there's a chance that you can be hacked. Understood? Understood, Michelle?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Then you have this question. Now you have to answer this, Michelle. Now, explain two types of backups. Actually, we have 7 types of backups, more than 7. Just explain 2 types of backup.
Full backup
Yes, what is full backup? Explain.
is the most most basic of all
And we,
backups.
yeah, and we see for the full backup now, there's a backup of all the entire resources in the what? In there. For example, you can back up everything together in that computer, full backup. You back up everything. Then there is what we call a remote backup. Together, a remote what backup. This is a backup whereby the resources can be restored back using what? A network remote together. Then you can have a local backup whereby you can decide to back up the information in the same building as the source. For example, you can decide to back up the information in what? An external hard disk together, or to back up the information in what? An external DVD drive. Yeah. Then you can have this one. What is file management? What is file management? Michelle, what is file management?
Oh, file management.
Yeah. Because I discussed file organization, what is file management? What is file management?
Is a collection of fields, a record of collection of fields.
And that is a file. No, in terms of file management, now it entails all the processes, all the activities involved in managing what a file together. You can have maybe organizing the file together, deleting the file, updating what the file. Yeah, the entire management. Then you have this one. Explain 3 ways of ensuring safety. I think there's a repetition. There's a repetition. There's a repetition. This one. There's a repetition. Then you have this one. Explain the term data recovery because data recovery and backup they go hand in hand. Yeah, what is data recovery? Yeah, because you must be having a backup now for you to have this. We said data recovery is the process of restoring back together the documents or all the resources after what? After failure. For example, maybe the hard disk failed and we had a backup. We can do what? We can recover the deleted files or we can recover the lost documents by having what? A backup together. Either we can use a local backup, a remote backup, an offline backup, or what? Or a cloud backup together. And the reasons we can have data, the reasons we can have, or the causes of These laws we can have, maybe for example, we can have malwares, we can have what? Trojans, we can have what? Hacking right together. Yeah, or sometimes still the hardware what failure. And we are through with the questions I had organized for today. Yes, we are through. Yeah. So even you can gauge yourself whether you have been revising. Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah. So what you have to revise. You have to do what? You have to revise. You have to revise. Any question? Any clarification?
Not
Any question?
just having nope.
Yes.
Just having difficult. Nope.